Hello, everybody, and welcome to the More You Know Sports Podcast. Today is October 5th, 2022. The regular season is officially over, which means today begins Red October.
Yeah, by the way, did you know the Phillies also call it Red October?
The Phillies
You
can
know,
fuck off. With a PH, by the way.
yeah, yeah. But also, I think it's funny that they're going to actually see what actual Red October looks like this weekend,
Right. Yeah, the
not their
brackets
phony
are
Red
set.
October.
And hey, here's the cool thing for those of you who do listen to us, which by the way, thank you very much. We greatly appreciate y'all. We're going to kind of be with you every day for at least the next 4 days. Then we'll go from there. I mean, maybe we win it in two, and then we'll talk to you again. But we're gonna do the best we can to almost do a daily show, as long as the Cardinals are playing in the playoffs, and then after they win the World Series, we'll probably take a little vacation.
Yeah, after each postseason game. So we could have two for you, or we could have 13 would be the lowest amount possible to win a World Series. That'd be impressive. They went
Well,
13 and 0.
we do have a guest tomorrow night, at least one, maybe two, which would be cool to be able, like tonight. This one, Caleb and I kind of decided we wanted to go ahead and focus on the Cardinals and the Phillies tonight, not look at everything else. There's a lot to talk about outside of just the Cardinals. That we are, you and I speak for both of us, not the mouse in my pocket, but we are incredibly excited about because I mean Friday's going to be fucking unbelievable. But but we want to just focus tonight on the Cardinals and the Phillies. And then tomorrow, got a couple guests, and we'll go around the entire playoff bracket, correct? Isn't that kind of how we want to tailor that? And then from
Yep.
then on, it'll be mostly Cardinal baseball.
Yeah, a lot of fun matchups around the league.
Yes.
I honestly think if you look at the eight teams that will be playing, you almost couldn't have matched each team up better. The only thing that would have made the matches better would be Phillies and Mets because I think that would have been
Yes.
awesome in City Field. But other than that, I mean the American League matchups are probably exactly what you would want: Toronto and Seattle, and Cleveland and the Rays. Which Cleveland's like a little bit of a richer, better version of the Rays, I think, this year. So those matchups kind of lined up perfectly, I think. But
Yeah.
this matchup, I'm not gonna lie, I was rooting hard for the Cardinals to play the Padres, like hard,
Yeah.
because I
Same. I
just
said
think
that a couple weeks ago.
that matchup's very advantageous to the Cardinals. I think. The Padres for the last six games in Busch Stadium. They got swept the last two series that they played here. Here's the thing that can kind of save it for us that we can be happy that we're playing the Phillies. Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler are really tough, so that's the top end. The Phillies could beat you in two games because they're so good. If you take one of those games, they don't have the third guy that the Padres have. So if you were to say they lined it up to where it's Musgrove, Darvish, and you take one of those games, well, then you still got to face Blake Snell.
Right.
Or if it's Snell
100%.
and Darvish, then you got to face Musgrove still. Here, I feel if we're going into a game three on Sunday and it's Rangers Suarez facing us, I feel pretty good about that matchup. He
Same.
throws left-handed. I mean, that's a pretty good matchup for us. And the biggest thing that I could think could be a difference here is the bullpen and the defense. That's a heavy advantage for the Cardinals. So the thing that the Cardinals need to do, I think, to be able to put themselves in position to take care of this series, because I think the Cardinals are without a doubt a better team than the Phillies. I don't think that's even a question. But I think in a short series, obviously anything can happen. They've got to be able to get Nola and Wheeler out of the games early. Whether that's because you hit him around a little bit, or that's because you just had good at bats and made his pitch count skyrocket. They cannot have a situation where Zach Wheeler / Aaron Nola are 60 pitches through 6 innings, and
Right.
you've got to beat them. You have to get into the bullpen and expose their two weaknesses, which are their bullpen, and you got to put balls in play and put pressure on their defense. They're inexperienced. You look around their lineup. Not many guys have been in the postseason. It's Harper, it's Schwarber. We saw Sosa. I think if he's playing shortstop, we saw how good his defense is in the playoffs. Not good. Last year, it was not good. And then you got a bunch of rookies. You got Alec Boehm, who we've seen crack under pressure at third base. Their outfield defense is by far the worst in the
Bryson Stott at
playoffs.
second.
Yeah, Gene Segura might be playing there. And
Yeah. Right. We
honestly,
don't know.
shockingly, first playoff appearance for him, Gene Segura,
Yeah.
which kudos to him because he's played a long time. And that's sad he had never experienced it before. But they've
One
got
thing
to
that I think is
expose the
awesome
Phillies
is
defense.
the last time we saw the Phillies in the playoffs, we were supposed to get swept by Halladay, Lee,
Oswalt.
Oswalt, Hamels, Madsen, Ryan Howard, Chase, and unfortunately, the last time we saw them, Ryan Howard was limping off the field, never truly to be the same again. Sucks for the St. Louis native. It's been 11 years since we saw them, and then we had to go obviously play Milwaukee, and then you get to the World Series to where you face the Rangers coming off the World Series the year before. This is the gauntlet for the Cardinals, and you can say, "Oh, I wish we would have played the Padres," and I agree with you. Like it would have been, I think, a good matchup, but you're going to have to beat great teams. And for us to win that title, to 2012 and 22, you got to go through the Phillies, who honestly, that lineup is dangerous. There's no doubt about it. And of all the matchups that we could have had, discounting the Mets because you weren't going to see them, their 1-2 pitchers are to me the most dangerous in Wheeler and Nola. Then you're going to have to go play Atlanta, who, in my opinion, and I've been saying this all year, I think is the best team in baseball. I know the Dodgers have the record. I think the Atlanta's lineup is unbelievable, and they have the pitchers who can come at you, especially if Quadzilla is ready to go.
I mean,
then you're probably going to have to either go play the Mets or the Dodgers or the Padres. My guess is it's going to be the Dodgers. Now you're staring down. You're going to be. This team is going to have to play their best baseball for the next 3 weeks to get out of the National League.
And then you go through that just to see Houston waiting for you, probably. So
or the Yankees.
Houston waiting. I would bet my money that Houston makes it. And maybe they don't, but they're so much better than everyone else in the American League, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, you can't cheat your way to a World Series. You cannot fake it unless you're Houston. I guess you can't cheat your way to a World Series. But today,
Jeff Passan says didn't happen.
I don't know.
He said there were no buzzers. There was no proof.
No, but they didn't win the World Series that year.
Right, that's true. Year. One thing that does look, and we're going to talk about this a little bit more here in a minute because we have to. But the one thing, if you're looking at something that concerns you, it's not the Phillies offense. I know it. You've got Schwartz. I know who's been their best hitter over the last 2 weeks by far. After that, it's just a bunch of guys in the 600-700 OPSs. Outside of their catcher. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, Real Muto Hoskins has had a good year, 30 bombs.
I'm talking about their last 2 weeks. I'm not talking about the full season. I'm talking about coming in. But the one stat that is a little concerning is Goldie and Arenado are 16 for 72 career versus Wheeler and Nola, 222 average. And you and I talked about this, and I think I tweeted this. Look, we can be concerned if it's Paul DeYoung that's on the roster or Corey Dickerson starting in left field, or was Dakota Hudson pitching, and what you can fill in the blanks of the people who are pissed at everybody on Twitter. That's fine. But it comes down to this. If the Cardinals are going to make a run in October, it solely rests on the shoulders of Nolan and Goldie. Your 2 MVP candidates have to be MVP candidates in October. That's all there is to it. Yep. And if they are, I think this team can go all the way to the World Series. If they aren't, it's going to be a quick exit. That's all there, in my opinion, that's all there is to it.
And that's not to say that there can't be a game where they get one hit between the both of them and you scratch together 3 runs and win the game 3-1. That can happen in the postseason.
Agreed.
But throughout the entirety of the postseason, one of them definitely has to be hot, basically the whole time. But both of them have to be productive. And here's the thing to me that's getting me excited about the potential of this offense in the postseason. The 3 guys that impressed me by far the most in this Pirates series was, take it with a grain of salt. Obviously, it's the Pirates. But confidence travels no matter who you're playing. If you're 5 for your last 10, you don't care who it was against. You just feel like you're 5 for your last 10.
Correct.
Lars Nootbaar, Brendan Donovan, Tommy Edman, by far looked the best out of anybody I saw this weekend. Tommy, first game, he had a little bit of neck stiffness, so he wasn't playing. Came in there, 3 hits, smoked a double, made an incredible play. That guy needed some rest, I would say. Lars Nootbaar looks great. He's still hitting extra base hits just about every game he starts, it seems like, and walks a ton. And Brendan Donovan just continues to be who he's been all year. If those 3 guys are getting on and Nolan and Goldie can do what they were doing, that was the recipe for success. It was those 3 guys getting on base and Nolan and Goldie hitting them in. They're going to need to do that. And the good thing is now, I guess, you've got 3 guys in the middle of the order they can get on for, because Albert's just as much of a threat as the other 2 right now. I know that it sounds
way more in the last month.
I know, but still, when you're facing Albert, you don't feel like you're facing Goldie. You just don't. But I feel like they've got an MV3 of sorts in the middle of their order right now. And yeah, Albert's old, and yeah, he wasn't hitting righties well for a long time. Well, right now, he's hitting everyone. So, and that's the guy he's been. And I think it's a little bit of, hey, this is the end of my career. I'm putting everything I got out there, and it's working. And he said he found something that seems to be true. They've got to have guys to get on in front of those guys. And I'm going to say if you have runners in scoring position with less than 2 outs and Goldie and Nolan are coming up, every time those guys have to score. You have
I
to find
agree.
a way. You have to
I
be the
agree.
guys that you're being paid to be.
If you want to look at the proverbial water bottle half empty, you could say in the last month, Nolan with a 709 OPS and Goldie with a 693. Not good. Now, if you want to look at the old bottle of water half full, you could say they're due, which is how I choose to look at it. You could also say that really for the last 2 weeks, you're not playing meaningful games. And I don't care how you want to spin that or what you want to do. It's just not the same. And that could be a good thing. It could be a bad thing. We're not going to know until this weekend. Literally, we're not going to know. But what I know is Goldie and Nolan have both spoken about the one thing that they want is a run in a postseason and a World Series chance. Guys, it's right in front of you now. So either you take advantage of it and you become St. Louis Cardinal legends, postseason legends, or you're going to be golfing next week. That's literally to me how simple it is. And I don't mean to say that to sound like a dick because I'm not. But those are your two best players. They're two of the best players in all of baseball. They have to show up this weekend at home, at Busch, on the biggest stage of their lives. They have to.
And we're not saying that they have to go out there and be 10 for 10. Like they just
No.
have to go out there and be the guys they've been for 2 years. Like they've
That's
been
it.
guys in the middle of the order. Last year, neither of the two showed up. Tyler didn't show up at the time. He was as big of a threat as anybody in baseball. Last year, man, I wish that was happening again this year. But and none of them showed up and they lost. Like they're the key to the offense.
And to be
In the
fair, last
sense,
year you played one game. Like to be
I
fair,
mean, they had so many opportunities, Dad, and
right?
those
They
guys
did.
failed. That's not like Nolan was out with bases loaded, I think, twice and failed both times.
Agreed.
But here's the thing: Nolan not good career postseason stats. In limited time because he's never had a deep playoff run. I'm not sure if he's ever run a playoff series, but I would bet that he hasn't. Goldie same way. I think he maybe won a wild card game against the Rockies. I think to go play the Dodgers and they lost. Their playoff stats are not very good
Well,
either.
Goldie 2019, we did beat the Braves.
He was good. He was good. And
Yes,
then he wasn't
very
good in
good.
the NLC, and then he was gone in the NLCS.
Well, no, everyone was. Remember, I
Yeah,
mean,
I
everyone
know,
was.
but I'm just saying
Yeah.
those two definitely have something to prove in the playoffs this year.
Yes.
They do. And it's for me, this is what it comes down to. This season has been so special with so many different things. It would be shocking to me if how special of a year this is, how much energy has been in St. Louis, how much all the players seem so committed and so in on this season if they go out limping in the first round. It would just shock
I
me.
agree. I
I'm not
agree.
saying that if it could be a case where the Phillies are hot, and they go in and they beat you. But to be honest with you, they're not hot. They're not. They didn't. They weren't playing well.
No, they're not.
Now they played well the last 3 of the last 4 games. They were doing pretty well, but other than that, they were not playing good baseball. The Cardinals haven't been playing great either. But I don't know. I feel like there's something else to this season where a first round exit would be utterly shocking to me. It just would.
When you just look at and when you look at 325, well, I mean, it ended up with 328, but the record was 325. Albert to getting to 703, 24 home runs this year. His OPS
18
over
in
the
the
last
second
month
half.
is over 1,000. Yeah, he does the home run derby. Most people say I don't want to do the home run derby. That could really screw my swing up. Albert says, "Fuck off! I'm going to do the home run derby and make my swing better."
I'm going to be better at hitting home runs in games than I was in the home run derby.
Absolutely. So, when you look at all of that now, again, we are also looking through it literally with rose-colored glass through rose-colored glasses. But I think that's the way you have to look at it. And I think it's the way the players have to look at it as well, is we've had a magical 162. We really have. We didn't win 107 like the Dodgers, 108, whatever. We didn't win 116 like the Mariners. We won the Central. But again, you had a lot of not controversy, but a lot of hiccups along the way, and then really found your stride at the trade deadline and really took off. But this it's sitting there. You did what you needed to do. You won the division. You've earned yourselves 3 home games. If you can't win 2 or 3 at Busch with the MVP, with Albert, with Nolan, and with the rest of the boys, then you didn't deserve it. And I think they deserve. When you say deserve it, that's nobody. You got to win it. Nobody just deserves it. But it's there. It's right there, like you said, and they just have to take it.
The bottom line to me is I have 2 points. One, you were right. Every team feels like their team is special for some reason. The Phillies over
Right.
there, well, it's been 11 years. We're finally back. We're got to get playoff games back at home. because it's the Red October for the first time in 11 years. So they think they're going to win because of that. Every team has their storyline that they will push in their head because that's what it is to be a fan, is to live and die
Right.
with the storylines, and only one gets to come true every year. But and my other point is, if you can't beat the Phillies at home 2 of 3, then there was no chance in hell you were going to beat the Braves. There's no way you were going to beat the Dodgers. There's no way you're going to beat the Astros or whomever beat the Astros to get to the World Series. So at the end of the day, like, we can worry all we want, but if they don't beat the Phillies, they were never going to win the World Series. So they've got to go out there and do it. Like, that's the bottom line. And I want to talk a little bit about lineup because there's very much. I think they've done Ollie's done a good job of basically saying these are our. He's got a framework here, and there are guys that we don't know who's going to be starting currently. Right now, we know Donovan's going to be playing second, batting first. We know Newt's going to be in right field, batting second. We know Goldie, Nolan, Albert will be the 3 through 5. And then the 6th spot's the one that we don't know. We know it's probably going to be Carlson 7, Yachty/Kisner. They said that Kisner's probably going to start when Mikolas pitches. So Yachty's not starting all 3 games, it seems like.
Okay, hold on. Can you
Miles
really?
Yes, Miles stats with Kisner are way better. I mean, Clayton Kershaw did this for years with AJ Ellis.
I understand. It's just wild to me that in this season that I get it. I mean, it.
Garrett Cole always threw to Kyle Higashioka when Gary was
Right.
there. Like, there are guys that like throwing to guys, and Miles stats with Kisner and without Kisner, they're night and day. So,
Right.
I mean, when he almost threw the no-hitter, Kisner was catching. Like, it seems like every time there's a hiccup. And I don't think it's because of Yachty. There's just this connection that some guys have with each other where they
Of
feel more
course.
comfortable. So,
Yep.
and Kisner also better hitting better right now than Yachty, so he might be able to do something. But and then Tommy's batting 9th and playing shortstop, so that's done. Left field's the spot where there's 3 guys that have a chance to play. It's Dickerson, it's Yepez, and it's Burleson. And I listed them in my idea of probability of doing it, of playing. I think I go with Corey Dickerson the first 2 games. And here's why. One, he has a lot of success against Aaron Nola. He has a couple homers, and he's
1 for 4 career against Zach Wheeler, by the way.
Yeah, and I think he might have the hit this year or something. But I like having a veteran. I know his defense sucks. I get it. But I like having a veteran there. I like having a guy who's been in the postseason. And honestly, if we're being honest, like, he's taken some good at bats the last couple of games. He hit that grand slam. Yesterday, he hit a 2 RBI double. He smoked it down the line to end up tying the game, I think it did. And I just think he gives the opposition such a different look. He is so different than every hitter in baseball, really. But in our lineup, that I do think it just gives them something they have to do differently. You have to approach Corey Dickerson a little differently than you have to approach anyone else. And would you be surprised if Corey Dickerson knocks in an RBI single? Like, no. And at this point, Juan Yepez had the opportunity to go take it. He hasn't. He looked really
I
bad.
agree.
I know he had the RBI single to win the game yesterday, but I think he looks good once every 6 at bats he takes. Other than that, he looks really bad. And Burleson isn't on my postseason roster. I'll say that now. He's just not.
I agree. In my opinion, it's Dick. Look, there are people out there who are saying Dickerson shouldn't be on the postseason roster. I swear these people don't watch baseball, or they just don't understand it. It could be both. I don't know. To me, I like the veteran presence in the lineup. All right. No shot at Juan Yepez. We are both Juan Yepez fans, like big time. I think his future in this league, whether it's here or wherever it is for the next 10 years, is very bright. I really do. But I think. Yeah, and then with Dickerson out there, it also forces the hand potentially later in the game of, if we go to a lefty, now all of a sudden we can go to a Yepez, and now you're looking at like Goldie, Nolan, Pujols, Yepez. I think it's going to make them really question some moves there.
And Dylan Carlson will be hitting right behind him, and you want Carlson facing lefties. So yeah, and I don't know if they'll ever choose that, just because I don't know if the threat of Dickerson against a righty outweighs the rest of the team, how good they are against lefties, maybe. But at the same time, like, and I was just going to say that as well, it's not anything against Yepez. He'd be starting for me on Sunday if Ranger Suarez is pitching. Like, he'd be in left field facing the lefty. So I just think until Tyler O'Neill is back, and that's if they make it past this round, my belief is that he will be back for the NLDS, if they make it there.
Is it official that he is out for the first round?
Basically, all but yes.
Okay.
So for me, platoon it like you've been doing all year, and then when Tyler O'Neill is back, he's your everyday left fielder. And I think it's smart to not bring him back until he can do that and be that, because you need Tyler O'Neill back and being Tyler O'Neill, not a DH. Like, you don't need another DH. So
Ollie's been pretty consistent with that right-handed pitcher lineup that we Why change it? Like, why mess with it now? Like I said, I just think I like the idea of Dickerson. I like the. I know he struggled. I understand he started off rough. I understand he was hot in the middle, kind of cooled off. It's had an okay couple games. I just like that veteran presence from the left side in the lineup. That's what it comes down to for me.
And here's the thing: your other two options. Well, yeah, Wadiepa's had a really good rookie season. I'm not taking anything away from him. His
Absolutely.
numbers ended in a really good spot, and I think he's going to be a really good hitter for a long time. But we saw what Corey Dickerson can do when he is hot. And I'm sorry, the other two have not showed the upside of Corey Dickerson going 10 for 10 and having the
No.
bat the ball skills he has. And more importantly, he's a guy that I'm not trying to sound like a Corey Dickerson super fan because by no means am I. I've criticized him a fair amount this year. But you have to realize that these people, no one has a 1 through 9 that hits everybody. Everybody hits in the
No.
postseason. No one. Ozzy Albies for the Braves this year was horrible the entire postseason, and he was batting second or third for most of it, and they won the World Series. Not everybody is going to be hot, but at the same time, Corey Dickerson has a chance to do something, and I feel like when he comes up, I always feel like he has a chance to do something. Sometimes it looks ugly, but he just gives you a chance every time. I think.
And
Especially
also,
in the
let's be
sixth,
honest, that's why
sixth,
we
seventh
signed
inning.
him. Mo signed him. I'm not saying he signed him to be the starting left fielder in the playoffs. He didn't
No, he
because
didn't.
we thought it'd be Tyler O'Neill. But you brought him here as a veteran presence from the left side to give you big at bats when you needed them. Well, right now we need them.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yeah.
think that seems. I think to me that seems like the easy way to go. And I don't think you even. I don't even think you mess with it. I don't. I don't. Regardless of what happens in the first two games. But to me, what it also tells you me is Ben DeLuzio's on the line or on the roster, and he is your late inning defensive replacement for Corey Dickerson because you can't have Corey Dickerson in
No.
the eighth and the ninth inning in a game with it close in left field. You just can't.
So yeah, no, you can't, and that's okay. You can put then you can move probably Newt over to left and Carlson to right. Um, the
Or
one
just
thing
put
that's
DeLuzio in left.
no, he's the best center fielder in the organization
That's
defensively.
fair. That's fair.
Um, but the one thing that does frustrate me is I really wish they would have given Gorman a chance these last three
I,
games because if he could have gotten hot, you could have put him at second base and you could have put Donovan out in left field. And
yes.
I really wish they would have done that. I don't, for the life of me, know why they continue to give Alec Burleson chances. Nothing against him; he might be good in the future, but he's just not good right now. He's just not. So
Is there a part of you that is concerned that Donovan is in left field and Paul DeJong is starting at shortstop game one?
no,
Okay. There's
not
a part
even.
of me that is. I'm going to be honest.
Okay, you want me to ease your mind? Paul DeJong played today, and they put Tommy Edman at shortstop and Paul DeJong at second base because they wanted Tommy to get reps at short before the postseason.
Okay. I watched zero baseball today, by the way.
Okay,
Zero.
yeah, so don't worry about it.
Okay.
And also, Paul DeJong moved to shortstop when they took Tommy out to give him rest and made a throwing error that we were 2 innings away from having the wreck for the least amount of errors ever in a Cardinal season, and
I
he threw a
saw
ball
that.
away. And he also cannot hit water if he fell out of a boat. So, no,
66. He didn't have two hits yesterday.
I don't care.
Okay. Fair. He's going to be on the roster. He's going to be on the roster.
Again, I mean, here's the thing and people freak out about this, and I've seen so many people on Twitter freaking out about who's on the damn roster.
I know.
One, there's a DH in the National League now. I don't know if you guys have noticed. These guys, Paul DeJong's not coming in the game unless we are up by 4 and they want the best defense they have out there, which probably isn't even Paul DeJong at shortstop at this point. But either way, that's the only way it happens. They're not going to pinch hit Paul DeJong for
No.
Tommy Edman. Like, I don't know what you
No.
think is going to happen. So
No.
just stop.
No.
Like,
Well,
this
I will
isn't
say it
this
again.
isn't 2018.
I sent you a text yesterday that said I may have to leave Twitter. And here's the thing. I love a lot of the people on there. I love the connection with the national baseball scene, football scene, whatever, the national sports scene. But some of the local sports fans, I will swear by the fact, one, they never played baseball. There's no way they could have. Two, they don't understand the game at all. I love their fandom. Hey, I love that you're a fan of the team. I really do. Like, thank you for that. Like, that's great. We need that. But some of the things you say prove, and when they'll say, "Well, I'm just a big fan," no, you're really just kind of clueless. Is all
I
I
saw
can come.
people calling Paul Goldschmidt Paul Goldshit yesterday.
Yeah, that's
The
bingo.
MVP of the National League.
Yeah,
The
that's
guy who's on a Triple Crown watch. The guy who could go nuclear, by the way. It happens like that. You don't expect it when Goldie gets hot, but
right.
it just happens. He could hit 4 home runs against Nola and Wheeler
It's
and lead us to a wild card,
it's too
and it
much
wouldn't
for me.
surprise
It's too
one
much.
human being. It really
It's
wouldn't.
too much.
I here's Okay, so I want to get a little bit before we move on, because I do want to get into the games a little bit and what you're expecting and what you think the key to success is going to be. But before we do that, we need to talk about the bullpen and what you expect. So one, to get out of the way now, Jordan Hicks is back. Looked good today. Had good
Yes.
velocity. Gave up a double. I don't give a shit. I really don't care. For some reason,
No.
Pittsburgh was slugging the shit out of us this series. It was weird. But
Yeah.
Jordan
Well,
Hicks, he looked. I mean, whatever. He looked
yeah.
good. He's back and healthy. That's all I care about. He was throwing 102, so he's healthy. That's all I care about. He's also obviously going to be a big part of the bullpen. The one guy, obviously, we have Helsley and Gio. Helsley's fine, by the way. Jammed his finger. He'll be fine.
Correct.
He said it didn't even hurt today, so he'll be fine. The one guy I'm worried about and don't know if you can trust in a high leverage situation right now is Andre Palante. I think
Agreed.
he might have hit a wall.
Yeah, I agree.
He might have to be that guy you maybe thought Dakota Hudson was going to be, where if you really need someone, a fireman, to give you 2 or 3 innings just because you need it, that might be the guy you go to.
Here's my take on the pitching. Okay, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, if you agree with me, if I'm completely out of left field. For the Cardinals to win, I really only need to see 4 to 5 relievers. It's Hicks, it's Gio, and it's Helsley from the right side, and it's Matz and it's Thompson from the left side. And if I have to see, hold on, let me finish. If I have to see more than those 5, it's one of 2 things. If we went extra innings, then things change. Okay. 2, our starters didn't get out of the 4th or the 5th inning, and we're in trouble.
Well, no, because that's going to happen in the postseason. That just happens.
But I'm saying that's the 5 that I need to see almost every night. You can throw, if you want to throw, like if they want to go Flaherty, if they are going to use him out of the bullpen, make him one also. All right, that's fine. But if we have to see an Andre Palante, or honestly, if we have to see a Genesis Cabrera, or we have to see a Jake Woodford, either again we're in the 15th inning, or we're in deep trouble.
Yeah, and that's interesting. I think, first of all, if Jack's going to be a bullpen guy, I'm under the impression it's just going to be for this series, probably, just because you might need to win, you might need him. I would start him game 3, so let's just get that out of the way now. He should be starting, but if he's not, then whatever, you do that.
And to add to that, let me add to that. All of Phillies, all of the data, the stats, the analytics, the Phillies are way better against left-handed pitching than they are right-handed pitching.
Which doesn't make any sense to me. And I will say, to kind of combat that a little bit, I don't know how much of that was with Bryce Harper hurt. But now
that's fair.
Having a lefty in it does neutralize 2 of their best hitters.
But also, you got Real Muto, you got Hoskins, you got Bohm. I mean, you've got Stott. You've got, I mean, the list goes on and on from the right side.
Segura.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know that answer. Here's what I'm going to tell you. This will be the only thing I say. If it's game 3, must win, I want Jack Flaherty, said George. No shot. We love Monty. Love him. I think he's got great, again, we've said he has Cardinal written all over him. But I want Jack Flaherty on the bump. That's all there is to it.
I mean, yeah, last time we were in this situation in that 3-game series, in 2020, Jack Flaherty took the ball and he absolutely shoved down the Padres' throat. We lost the game, not because of him, but he was great. So I think Jack Flaherty is the X factor and having success in the postseason, and I don't believe that's as a reliever.
Yeah, I agree. So that's where I would stand on our relievers. It's those guys. Those are your tops.
Palante, which, by the way, having 5 of those guys is
huge.
Is great. I mean, the Braves really wrote 3-4 guys last year to a World Series, and they got some big performances from guys. So here's what I will say about your Palante thing and seeing those guys. The Braves got some performances from guys they didn't expect to get performances from.
Like Minter.
Yes, but I'm talking more like the Dylan Lees and the Kyle Wright at the time, who was not the big name Kyle Wright is today.
Yes.
When he was a failing rookie that came in and gave him 4 shutout innings. You're going to need that from guys. You're going to need guys to step up if you want to go deep. But for this series, I agree with you. If you need only those guys, and if you have more than that, you're probably losing the game by a lot.
Yeah, and I think one of the coolest things, like I obviously never got to experience anything like this, but about the postseason is for a guy like a Dylan Carlson, all right, who had a rough regular season, if he comes out and has I'm not going to say David Freese, like that's not fair to ever say for anybody, but if he comes out and has a very solid postseason, nobody's going to give 2 shits what he did when he struggled from June, you know what I mean, to September. That slate is white clean. Steve Pearce, everybody starts with zeros. You know what I mean? When they come up on that first at bat, It's zeros across the board.
Exactly. And like what I was going to say is if he goes 2 for 2, he looks up he's batting 1,000. That's different than
And he
234
goes
or
1 for
whatever
2,
he's
he's hitting
batting.
500.
Exactly. So it is different. And here's the thing, Dylan's really a really young guy. We've seen him have success in the postseason.
Yes.
In 2020, he was our cleanup hitter, but God, how far we've come. You think the guy would have developed and maybe continue to be that, but he's no longer the 4 hitter. But
Yep.
and we saw last year down the stretch, man, he was huge. He was having big hits all the time. He is so even keeled all the time, even when he's struggling, that he would not surprise me if he had a huge postseason.
Agreed.
Lars Nootbaar, same way. I mean, honestly, you can make a case for I'm gonna say 8 out of the 9 hitters because I just don't see our catchers doing anything like that. But the other 8, I could see any of the 8 having a massive postseason. I just could.
See, here's the thing that I would say to counter your point. It's Yachty in the postseason.
No,
He's going to
okay,
do
yeah,
something.
yes,
He's going
I
to do
could see.
something.
Okay, that's not what I meant. But yeah, he might have a big moment. But I don't
Right,
think you're
okay.
gonna look at his end stats and say
Yep.
Yachty batted 450 with 7 jacks in the postseason. Like that's
Yeah,
not something
I agree. And again, like I said, I think it's wide open. I'm going Miles game 1. I think we're in agreement. It's Q game 2. Like that's how I'm going. And then game 3, you assess. To be honest, you have to almost see how
Well,
did
here's
they
the thing,
hit our
Dad. You
lefties?
can't.
How did they hit our righties? Who is pitching for them? They got Syndergaard. They got Kyle Gibson. They got Ranger Swarth. What are we doing?
Here's what I'll say. You can't do that because if you want to go jack out the bullpen as a weapon for all 3 games, you have to decide that before the series starts.
I guess what I'm saying is if you need Jack to win a game in the first 2, then you use him and Monty becomes your number 3. That's what I'm saying. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it should be interesting. I don't know because even like if that's the case, you can't have Jack waiting out there could maybe then start like that throws his whole routine off. So
Is Adam Wainwright on the roster?
I don't know.
Could you?
No, if I was
I
writing it, no,
say,
he wouldn't be.
okay, I'm going to say he is.
They
I
said
don't
they
even
were
think it's a
trying to.
question.
I just don't know who do you take. So
Now,
let's
now
see.
let
So
me.
okay, here's the thing: it's a 26-man roster.
Okay,
3-game series, you're not going to need all 26 men.
that's
But
it. That's
here's
it.
here's the thing: if you wanted to do this, I don't know how in favor I am of it, but if you wanted to say, all right, here's our plan. We're going to go Q game 2 and Mikolas game 1. Jack and Monty, you both need to be ready in case they get in trouble early because this is just there's 2 games. We have to win these games. So go be ready. You're going to sit in the bullpen. And if need be, and they have to use both of those 2 in the first 2 games, you have to, then the Wayno's sitting there for game 3 and you have to hope that he has some magic. And I could very much see that. Now, do I like that at all? No, it makes me want to puke. But
Right.
I could see. I think I changed my mind. I would have all 5 on it just so you have
Same.
as much flexibility with your roster as you can have.
And coverage. And the other thing I would say is from this point of view, all right, Ali, Mo, you can say what you want. In a 3-game series, honestly, you got to hope you're not going to need all 26 guys, like we've said. You're just not.
No,
Or you shouldn't.
there'll be guys on your bench that don't get in that battle, stuff
Correct.
like that.
And in the bullpen. So what I
Yeah.
would say is I just can't see a world, even if he's not used, where if Adam Wainwright ends up retiring, which I kind of believe that might happen now, the more that I listen to him talk and everything else,
It seems like it's trending that
where
way.
it would say, let's just say the Cardinals lost, right? And one thing that people would remember was he wasn't even on his final postseason. Well, I don't see a world where, and I'm not saying the Cardinals are going to lose. I'm not saying he shouldn't be on the roster. I'm not saying any of that. I would have him on my 26-man roster, even if I'm not going to use him. But it also gives you protection in case you need it. In case the game goes 16 innings. I mean, you never know what you're going to need and when you're going to need it. And it's still Adam Wainwright. And I just think there's no way that they don't put him on. And also, I would have him on mine. If I were Mo, if I were Ali, he'd be on my roster. That's what I'll say.
Like, would you rather have him or Jake Woodford? Like, that would be I'd rather have Adam Wainwright and see what he
Agreed.
can do in a postseason
Yes.
game.
Yep.
It's the experience, it's the grittiness of Adam Wainwright. It's the fact that he can go out there not feeling good and still give you a chance to win the game. That's what
I also feel like, and maybe this is stupid, right? But I also feel like Adam Wainwright in the dugout, knowing he has a shot to pitch, might be completely different human than Adam Wainwright in the dugout being a cheerleader. Does that make sense? Like that competitive Adam Wainwright is a different human. We know it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's not the Max Scherzer, I'm gonna tell my manager to fuck off competitor. But
no.
But he's equally as competitive, just shows it a different way, I think is the way to put it.
So he's earned a spot on the 26.
I will ask you this. If whatever you heard on the movie network, which I just don't trust those guys anymore. Some of them,
No.
no offense, not all. Some of them are great, but some of them, the insiders, I don't trust.
Joel Sherman, what does he watch?
I don't want to talk about specific names.
Oh, my scratch it.
Anyway, what I was saying was, if Adam Wainwright, it comes out he is your game 2 starter, your reaction would be what?
Why?
Would you understand it?
No, because here's the thing: win or lose game 1, game 2 is to me a must win. If I'm the Cardinals, I don't want to go game 3 at home. So if I win game 1, do you see what I'm saying? If I lose game 1, there's literally not one stat in the world outside of the eye, and the eye test doesn't even do it. Outside of a feeling down in the cojones, like there's not a feeling,
the only
reason
thing
to
is
put
that
him in
Adam
game 2.
Wainwright. Here's the thing: if he goes out there and this were to have happened, and we don't, by the time this is out, you guys may know if he's starting or not. So this might be a conversation you don't care about now. But
Right.
anyway, we're gonna have it.
Fast forward.
Yeah, fast forward. If he goes out there and throws 7 scoreless and looks like Adam Wainwright again, and you now have Adam Wainwright back for the postseason, that could be big. I just don't think in a 3-game series, or hell, even a 5-game series, if we get there, you can risk that. And that's so sad to me that he couldn't have gone through this funk in August and worked his way out of it, because you really don't have time to work your way out of it.
No, you don't. And
you
also,
just don't.
We know that if ifs and buts were candies and nuts, so we can't play the ifs. That's what I would say. It's Miles and it's Q.
I just wish for him that this wouldn't be the end of what's happening for him. And there's still a chance that he has a big postseason, and then no one cares. That's Adam Wainwright.
Absolutely.
That's absolutely. I honestly think, though, if you don't use him, it might be good for him to get some rest. If you can move on without using him, it might be great.
By the way, this guy was saying you should have done 3 weeks ago.
He was saying that it doesn't help him in these situations. Rest, I don't know, but I know Adam Wainwright knows more about his body than I do. That's all I can say.
I'm not going to argue that, but every doctor in the world disagrees with him.
Well, not their doctors, or they would have said it probably.
Well, okay.
Their doctors do have some question marks at times.
Yeah. Say that. Thank you. You said it. I did not. I just threw it out.
I'm not going to go into specifics, but there's been some problems around them before.
Right. I like I said, here's the thing. 107. A lot of people bitching about the times, and I understand. Look, here's the thing. I've taught for 25 years and coached. There were a lot of games, playoff games, I had to miss because they were in the early afternoon. Right? I get it. It sucks. But
it's
also,
I
am much rather 107 than the 407. You know what I mean?
Yes, me too. But also, the thing that confused me the most was people saying, "Screw Manfred, why is this happening?" I remember you coming to pick me up in 5th grade. It was 2013. You took me out, and we went to go see the Pete Cosma, Daniel Descalso hits against the Nationals. I believe it was 2013 or
I think it was 13. It was. I think it was
on the way to the World Series. Yeah, there was a day game. It's not Manfred. It's been happening forever. They just have so many games. And here's the thing: I get it, and I get it's because of the new playoff format with 4 games. That's awesome. Seriously, just take off work. Like, be a man. It's one day.
That's it.
Take off
work. It's Friday.
It's one day.
Off. That's it.
And you knew this was coming, so you should have taken off weeks ago.
Right. That's not hard. And here's the other thing. Look, and I think we brought this up on the last pod, and you and I talked about it as well over the week. It's New York and San Diego. They're 2 of the biggest fucking markets in the world. You're going to have them on primetime, as you should if you're Major League Baseball.
And also, can I tell you something? I'm super excited, hopefully after the Cardinals win game 1, to go home and watch that game. I'm very excited to watch that game. To see you, Darvish, versus Max Scherzer or DeGrom, whoever it is, square off, that's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm excited for that. And it's going to be fun at night in Citi Field. So we can talk about that more tomorrow, but I'm excited about that. Man, I will say the thing that's alarming to me right now is that in 5 days on Monday, my attitude could be one way or it could be completely opposite.
Yeah,
I could be absolutely devastated, or I could be just elated, ready to go beat the Braves. Like that.
Here's the thing: before we make our predictions and before we get out of here, 107 Busch Stadium is going to be unbelievable. We're going. Your first postseason game. I haven't been to a postseason game in a while because when you guys were younger, I always stayed home to watch it with you guys most of the time.
It was also
almost all the time. Well, that was part of it, but also I enjoyed watching it with you guys. We'd order food, whatever. Yeah. But we're going to be there. We're going down early to
I'm gonna
tailgate.
be about
So
12 high noons deep by first pitch. So if we suck, I don't feel the pain.
no, it's going. We were there opening day, which was incredible. We're going to be there the opening day of the playoffs. If they make it past the first week, which they're going to, I'll be there next weekend too. So just so you know.
I probably will be too.
Yeah.
And
I
I will
can't
regret
wait.
paying the
I
money,
am
but it's okay.
incredibly excited about this. I told you this whole house thing is so fucking stressful. It's exciting. It's cool. Today we had to pick our cats up and get them out of the house, which was an absolute clusterfuck. Um, Now we have to do it like eight. There's like seven. We have like seven showings for the house tomorrow. I think we're already going to get offer on the house. This is the wildest thing I've ever been a part of. I need Friday like no other.
Yeah, some sense of normality.
Yeah, there you go. The Cure said Friday I'm in love. That's going to be me at Busch Stadium.
Just
Woo!
I
Let's
have okay.
go.
I have a premonition. You could say that's the right word. I think I want to use. I think Albert Pujols is going to hit a home run off of Zach Wheeler in Game 1, and I think Busch Stadium might
That
collapse.
the place might implode.
I don't know. I think he's going to try and get one of those high fastballs by him, thinking Albert's still slow and fat and old, and he's just going to say, "No, I'm different now," and he's going to hit it over the bullpen. That's
One
what I
thing I
see
do want to
happening.
say, since you brought it up, because I think we owe him the respect to do so before we get to our predictions and get out of here. I think we have to hit on the fact that Albert's fucking ended up with 703 home runs. He did. You said it would be perfect Albert to end up with 700. No, he went ahead and hit three more. His last at bat, home run. His last at bat at Busch Stadium, home run.
You meant first at bat.
That's what I meant. Sorry. First at bat at Busch Stadium of his career, home run. Last at bat at Busch Stadium, home run. Regular season.
Oh, Busch
Second
Stadium
all
three,
time.
right?
Second all time in RBIs. That's unbelievable.
He passed Babe
Do you
Ruth.
think? Let me just ask you. This is again ifs, right? The old what ifs, right? Which we just talked about what they are.
Yep.
If Albert plays his entire career here in St. Louis, where is he on the home run rank and on the RBI rank? In your opinion,
I think he has less home runs
because of the ballpark?
because of the DH. He wasn't playing first base every day until this year. He
Yeah.
wouldn't have been able to do that. And we also wouldn't have Paul Goldschmidt, so thank God that didn't happen.
Right.
Because now we have both. But
That's a very good point. One that
I
really didn't think about.
Yeah,
I'm now entrenched in DH baseball.
He would have been playing first base every single day, and that's not good for your feet. So I think he probably would have had more injury issues, and I don't think he'd be going out the way he's going out right now.
Right. That's a really see. This is why you're U of I journalism.
I guess that wasn't really journalism, but that's okay.
It was pretty
That was
good.
just a thought.
One last thing I just wanted to point.
I will say
Yeah, go
before
ahead.
you go, I do think they win the 2013 World Series if he's still here.
Mm-hmm.
But
You too.
That's hindsight.
Well, we did still
David
have
Ortiz
Mike
wasn't
Matheny.
insane. We still had to face David Ortiz, and Pete
We
Cobble
also still had Mike Matheny in the bullpen. So
yeah. Either way,
just a couple things. One last thing on the Albert front. Final career numbers: career 296 batting average, 3,384 hits, 2,218 RBIs, 703 home runs.
It's incredible. Over 100 WAR. Got a 2 WAR this year to get up to 101.5.
Yep.
Is what I saw on Baseball Reference. I know it's different on some websites.
Yeah, you got the Fangraphs one that could be different, but they're very close.
Yeah, they're just different. It's just an incredible career. There's really nothing you can say other than, he's one of the top 10 players of all time. Whatever way you want to put it, you cannot have a top 10 list without Albert Pujols being on the list.
And heading into our predictions here, because let's make them. One of the craziest stats I saw today. We've talked about how spoiled we are as Cardinal fans. Your entire fucking life, right? You don't know any better than the Cardinals being awesome almost every year. The 90s for me were rough. The late 80s, early 90s were really rough. And before my time, I was born in the 70s, but the 70s were garbage. The idea that the Cardinals have not led the National League in losses since 1918 is I keep saying this is the wildest fucking stat I've ever seen. That's one of them. Because the next closest team is the Braves in 1990.
Wow. Yeah. So the Dodgers, it's crazy to think that there was ever a time where the Dodgers weren't one of the best teams in baseball. But
92. Isn't
That's
that
wild. It's even the craziest part about that stat to me, Dad, is that in the baseball is so crazy that in 30 years, 28 different teams led the team in 29 different teams. Is that
every
true?
team,
In 32
every
years?
team has been there. Yep. Every team from 1990
The
except the
Yankees?
Cardinals. National League led the
National League.
National
Okay,
League.
so scratch what I said.
National
It
League.
was 14 teams. You changed it for
Yeah,
me now.
my apologies. I
But
said National League originally, but
okay.
National League.
Well, then that's so crazy that baseball is such a weird sport that and 14 teams have led the lead in losses. Like I bet the Lakers haven't led the NBA in losses in 30 years. I'd be surprised if they had.
Yep. And the only reason
That's just
is
baseball's crazy.
this year it was Washington. They as a franchise, they had never been the lowest, and then they were this year.
Yeah, I'm surprised that there's some teams on there that just surprises me.
1918.
The Giants, that surprises me. The Braves honestly surprises me, but they were really bad for a
Were
couple
we
years.
still in World War One in 1918?
Yeah, it was ending. No, it wasn't.
For,
It was beginning, I believe. They ended 1922. Hold on,
I
no,
don't
I
know,
got
but
that.
that fucker Franz Ferdinand, they killed him, and then we had World War
Duke.
One. That was right before the White Sox scandal. Is that
Okay,
not
it ended
crazy?
in. I was
Again, I don't
right.
know
Look
going
at
about it.
me. Look at me. I was right. 1918 is when it ended. I was right.
Yeah.
So
So
14 to
Cardinals
18.
finished last. Kill Franz Ferdinand. World War ensues.
No, Ferdinand died 4 years earlier. That's part
Oh,
of the
okay.
war.
All right. He was
It
already
ended in
dead.
1918, but in
Okay.
November 11th, 1918. So that almost coincided with the war ending.
So we have the worst record, and the world says, okay, we're calling the
Either
truce.
way, we haven't had the most losses in the league since World War One ended. Since after World War One. So there's that. That's all you have to say. Adolf
I don't
Hitler
even
was
want to talk about the other
not
shit that was
even a
going on in
name when he came through.
1918, but we have not led the National League in losses since then. That is
No, that's
crazy.
crazy.
All right. Prediction time. Because 107 Friday, we'll be back tomorrow, obviously with special guests. And go through the other teams. We want to hit on that. We need to talk about Aaron Judge. We got a lot of stuff to talk about tomorrow. But let's go. I want to hear your predictions. What happens? I need specific game. We're gonna track these specific game results.
Yeah, but when I predict them right, you're gonna tell me that I'm gloating too much. That when I tell you that I got it right. But anyway, game one, I'm assuming it's Michaelis versus. I really wish we knew the playoff with the
It's going to be
matchup.
Michaelis versus
But if
Wheeler.
it's Michaelis Wheeler, I think the Cardinals win the game 4-2. 4-2.
Okay, this is not Fugazi. Literally, that's what I was going with. So now I'm going to have to change it.
No, I just don't. I just think it's hard to get a shot in the playoffs, obviously. And I don't know. I think they're going to find a way to get to Wheeler at some point in the first couple innings, and then they're going to get him out and be able to tack on a few.
I think we win 5-3. I was going to go 4-2, but I'll change it. 5-3. All right, game two. I'll start. We lose. Aaron Nola gets us. We lose 6-3.
Okay. I think we win, and I think the series is over.
Okay, well then you don't even have to make a game three prediction.
I think
game
we
three
win.
prediction.
Hold on, let me get my score. I think we win 7-2. I think we get on Aaron Nola. We've done that last couple times he's pitched in Busch. We have absolutely rocked him.
All right, and I think game three we win 4-3 in a bottom of the ninth. Oh shit, winner!
Nolan
I'm not going to call it.
Off.
It's going to be a homer. It's going to be a homer.
Give it to Nolan.
You can fill.
Nolan.
Nope. You can fill in the blank. You can fill in the blank.
Are you as excited as I am to watch Nolan Arenado play postseason baseball at home?
Yes. Yeah. Do you think he's going to sleep the next 2 nights?
Yeah, but I don't know how well.
He's probably listening to his 2 favorite American singers, Freddie Mercury and Adele.
That was so funny to me. The funniest part about that was he said Freddie Mercury. And he was like, "Oh shit, wait, never mind. I think he's British, also dead, by the way. But I think he's British. So Adele." And the interviewer was like, and they just let him go. Because they're asking like, "What's your favorite Latin artist and what's your favorite American artist?" He said Daddy Yankee or something, and then he goes to that and he says 2 British people. You're from America. Not to mention his welcome song is Travis Scott, who's from Houston. Just say him.
Right. Fired up, ready to go. I think the series is going to be. I think it's going to be really close. I really do. I think these 2 teams are matched up incredibly well. What was the final season? How did we do against them? I did not look that up.
4-3.
We won.
That was back when that was around July 4th when the team was really bad, a lot of injuries. Remember that back-to-back home run against Philly, the 4 in a row?
Yes.
We won that game, lost the other 2 in the home series against them when we were away, and then we split a 4-game at home.
Okay. The one thing that is going to be hard for me is rooting against Bryce Harper in the playoffs, but I will.
No, I hope he sucks. I don't.
Okay. All right. Fair.
It's Albert and Yachty's last year. I'm not losing in the first round. I hope he's horrible.
I agree.
I don't care.
I agree. Go Cards. Go Cards.
Yeah. It doesn't affect his stats anyway. No one cares.
Yep.
It's postseason. Yep. They don't count.
So we've got it figured out. We're both on board. We're playing the Braves next week.
Yeah. I mean, God, if we're not, I don't even.
No, we're not talking about it. We are.
I can't fathom this season being over in 5 days.
No, we just said we are. So there we go.
Yeah, I mean, God damn it. Then we have to go through that. The NL is a fucking joke. God, It is good. What happened? It used to be bad. Last year it wasn't that good. What happened? Why is
it was. Look at, you had LA and Atlanta. That was pretty fucking good. We just didn't know it. We didn't know Atlanta was that good last year.
Yeah, but I'm just saying the Giants, we all knew they were frauds.
Yeah.
And then you look at who won the Central. The Brewers, we knew they weren't doing shit. And then what it was us, and then I guess we did play the Dodgers in the wild card. But other than that, it was not that good.
Yeah.
The 6 wild card teams really made some people go for it, huh?
Yeah, it does. Made a great baseball. Great season. We're going to talk about it tomorrow, but I want to talk about awards, and I want to talk about all that stuff. I think tomorrow will be a great day to do that, but we want to just focus in on the Cardinals and the Phillies today. So for all of you who have to work, find a call off. There you go.
Unless you can't and you have a job like a doctor where you can't. But if your job
surgery's on Monday.
If your job isn't that important, you know what I mean. No offense to your job.
All of my educator friends, don't go do not go to
I'm talking to you,
Friday.
Educators.
Do not go to work.
Your job. I just said your job's not that important.
Yeah, do not go to work on Friday. If you can get off, take Friday off. We will be down there. We'd love to see you guys. If you're down in the area, we will be parking right next to the Angry Beaver and the Oyster Bar.
Right there
underneath the bridge. Yeah, not far from Patios. We will be there tailgating early. Trying to talk the Oyster Bar into opening up early. I don't know. They're not really listening to me, so we'll just see what happens.
Are they not? I bet they do.
We'll see. I did send them a couple messages, so we'll see what happens. We will be there. It is going to be an epic day. The amount of red, it's going to be again, Red October. I've said it for years. I absolutely love it. I don't care what the Philly says. There's one Red October, and it's going to happen right here in St. Louis, and it begins Friday at 1:07 with Miles Mikolas, the Lizard King, on the bump at Busch Stadium. Albert Pujols in the fucking lineup. Let that sink in.
Behind Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt. It's 2022, guys.
Disney doesn't deserve this movie.
Yeah. And there's a guy named Lars Nootbaar batting in front of all of them. Imagine if I would have told you all this 5 years ago.
Let's go.
What are you talking about?
Oh, baby. Last year, going into L.A., O'Neill, Bader, Carlson was our outfield. We thought that was the outfield for years to come. And again, hopefully Tyler gets healthy. We get him back. But tomorrow, we're going to go Dickey, DC, and Newt, and the place is going to go fucking crazy.
I have a question. Okay, so before we go, I want one more thing. Your prediction for who is the most impactful offensive player who is your prediction for the series?
I said it at the beginning. It's got to be Goldie or Nolan. You can pick one.
Pick one player.
Then it's Nolan.
Player.
It's Nolan. Okay.
I think it's gonna. I'll go with Nolan as well. That's my pick as well.
I think it has to be. I think, and this is no shot at Nolan. I would never do that. But with his comments, and he's been very on the record, but also this is a man who says shit and backs it up every day of his fucking life. So with his comments about, I want the division, he got it, right? Now he wants to go next. Here it is. It's right in front of you. It's not going to be easy. Zach Wheeler, Aaron Nola had a brain fart there. Are incredible. But it's right there. And I just think if Nolan comes up big early, the amount of energy that he gives that team, not that Goldie doesn't, but Goldie's a different energy, right? It's a quiet, silent.
Oh my God, the guy's unreal.
Nolan is, I'm in your face screaming at everyone.
Firing the whole place up.
That's it.
It brings you back to the Yankees series, the most exciting series of the year to me. I don't even think it's close. When we swept them at home, when Nolan
Yes.
Arenado was just absolutely unreal the entire series. The
Yes.
energy that guy brought to the building it's unmatched
Yeah.
by anyone else other than maybe Newt on the team. So you
So
need him to do that.
he is my, if you're going to win, it has to be Nolan. If you're looking for the guy, and I said it early, that's a sneaky pick that maybe nobody is talking about, it's Dylan Carlson. Those are my two.
Mine would be Lars Dupar.
And I'm great. I love it.
I just think he has so much energy he can bring
Yeah.
to a team in so many
Yep.
different ways, by the way.
All right.
All right. Well, I'm about ready to wrap this up because I need to eat.
Yeah.
It's 10
Yep.
o'clock and I haven't eaten.
All right. Well, you go get something from that wonderful University of Illinois vending machine that's in your apartment building.
I think I have some chicken I'm going to warm up.
Okay, that sounds good. DoorDash. Potbellies.
No, can't afford
it. Spent too much money on tickets for Friday.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, actually.
All right, guys. Hey, listen, again, reminder, wear the red, support it all weekend, head downtown. Even if you don't have tickets to the game, get downtown, celebrate. There is nothing like it. We've gone down there quite a bit, even when we didn't go to the game. It is an absolute blast. The town of St. Louis loves the Cardinals. Like, I assume there are other great cities. I get it. But this whole town is going to shut down this weekend. Go fucking enjoy it. Go Cards, 1:07 p.m. Sorry about it. It's A-Rod. Turn on 1120 and listen to the radio. We will talk to you guys tomorrow. You're going to get to see a lot of us over the next few days. We will talk to you soon. Everybody stay safe. Take care of each other. We'll talk to you soon. Cheers.